So Hare Krishna. So we will be beginning our discussion on the Bhaktavatsala. This I wanted like this so that devotees can remember when they speak the story in detail about Krishna Jagannath's pastime with his devotees. They can speak the details, so others devotee can hear it, and after 10 to 15 minutes of story explanation, the option could be given to others also, or that individual speaker can speak on the lessons they learned. Hmm. And others could be asked what is the wonderful point they learned from they saw in this story. And these are very amazing stories. Each one of the stories is very high fi. It will increase one's devotion when you hear about the life and life of the pure devotees, how they deal with the Lord Jagannath Lord, and how Lord deals with his devotees. We can learn a lot of wonderful lessons. So that is the way we wanted to have this discussion for this week and next week both. Okay. So Murari Gopal will coordinate it. And then, and I am, since I am traveling, I will try to be there overall. If the connection goes here and there, then I may get here. Okay, one Poonam also joined. Hare Krishna. Mm. So okay, Murari Gopal. So we can start. I am also hearing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity to coordinate with all the enthusiastic, spiritual, enthusiastic learners.
You can spotlight yourself. You can spotlight yourself and also spotlight that individual speaker who will be speaking. They have to further, they need to on their video. Okay, then only it will happen. And you are recording on the computer or in the cloud?
In cloud, I am recording.
Oh, okay, fine, not an issue. Take you. Hare Krishna.
So when we go through the different literatures, of course, for Lord Jagannath, there is separate shastras, separate literature. Jagannath Puri have its own library. So there says that every day there are wonderful pastimes happens in Jagannath Puri with pure devotee of the Lord. And those pastimes we can see in few of them recorded in the form of literature, and mercifully Prabhuji has shared a few pastimes which we will be discussing here today. So that will be wonderful learning when we will be involving other devotees also. So I have given to Komal Rohila, Neha, Parmila, and Rekha Rani. So anyone who is ready, please come forward and start reading the story. And as I said, the points, like 3 points they can focus. Neha, you are ready?
जी प्रभुजी.
Yeah.
Namaskar प्रभुजी.
Hare Krishna. You can spotlight her also. Tell her to on the video, and then you can spotlight her also. Add into the spotlight.
Yes.
Both of you will be there. Then it would be easy. Then later remove after next speaker. Then you can add the next speaker.
Yes. I think now it is visible. Yes,
So,
start.
So am I audible to you, Prabhuji?
Yes, you are audible.
Oh, Hari.
So today, so we are going to learn the story about Rama Anuja Acharya in Puri, Odisha. So in this story, we'll learn like who is Rama Anuja Acharya and what happened to him at Jagannath Temple, and in the end, we will learn. We'll see what we'll learn about from this story. So let's start the story. Rama Anuja Acharya is the founder Acharya of Sri Sampradaya. He was a great Vaishnava Acharya and also famous for his learned personality. Rama Anuja recognized Lord Jagannath as Mahavishnu. At that time, King Ganga Deva ruled the state of Odisha. Rama Anuja Acharya had much influence over the king. Rama Anuja saw that the Lord was being worshipped with mixed culture and mixed process. He was very concerned about low castes such as Dayapatis could take part in offering puja. So he decided, like he argued, that Lord Jagannatha should be worshipped with the Vedic process only. he wanted to change the process of puja in Jagannath temple. So he presented many changes to the king and made him agree to his proposal. So Lord Jagannath's Sevak objected to the new system, but the king would not listen to their appeals. Finally, because that Ramanuja is very influenced by the king, so the king Gangadeva, he's not listened to Sevak oppose that new system. So finally, the date was fixed for Ramanuja to change the puja process in the temple. So they are going to change the previous puja system. They are going to implement the new puja process. So the king and all of the Brahmanas arrived at the temple in the early morning. They announced that from that day, a new system of worship would be introduced by the great Acharya. Ramanuja, everyone, including the king, waiting anxiously at the temple for the arrival of Ramanuja Acharya, but he never showed. After waiting for a long time, the king ordered the pujaris to start the worship of Lord Jagannath according to the previous system only. Then the king ordered his ministers to find the Ramanuja Acharya. It was discovered that one night before, while Rama was sleeping, Lord Jagannatha appeared to him and criticized him for what he wants to implement there. He shouted in his anger and said, "Who are you to change my puja system? Let my devotees worship me as they have been worshipping me from the beginning. They are my special devotees and I have special relationship with them. You do not understand this, so do not disturb them. Get out of here." The Lord flew Rama out of his village, Odisha, by the help of Garuda. The next day, he was found in South Indian village called Kurma Kshetra. So, this is all about the story. So now we'll see what are the points I have learned from this story. The God is always looking for the genuine devotees. It doesn't matter you provide with the tons of gold and the money. It matters only the genuineness of the devotee and your devotion with whole heart. So and there is a special unique relationship with the devotee and the God. The third person we cannot the third person cannot oppose the devotee to follow that step. It is the understanding between the God and the devotee to, like, whatever he wants to offer to God, they can do that. So it cannot be the puja cannot be forced by anyone. So this is all about I learned from this story, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Neha. It's a wonderful story relating with Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya is a great Acharya, great pure devotee of basically he was thinks a very system happen that at particular time the artist should happen, at particular time bogas should be offered. So like this, he wanted to make the system in Jagannath Puri. Like we find in South India, there is a pakka particular, the timetable is there, they follow. And he wanted to do that system apply in Jagannath Puri. But in Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath is so merciful that there is no particular timetable follows. It's head pujari get the indication and they decide, and they feed the Lord huge amount of food, and there is sleeping time is also not fixed. Sometimes it goes up to like 11 o'clock, 11:30, like that. So when Ramanujacharya wanted to fix this timetable, everything, things wanted to make the systematic, that time Lord, as it is said that Lord Krishna is Bhavgrahi. He's more concerned about the love and care of the devotee. So he is a Bhavgrahi. So he's more concern about the what is the bhava of the devotee, then the external things, external arrangements. So we see in connection with the Lord Ram, he is eating the fruits which is eaten by that pure devotee Bhilni. Similarly, in their pastimes comes with Lord Jagannath that one old lady used to cook and cooking, and he used to do dantun with the and same stick he used to mix that khichdi, and that khichdi is also eaten by Lord. So Lord is more concerned about the bhava. And in this story, we see that Lord Jagannath, he is happy with the devotee, whatever they are offering, whatever the system they are following. So you will find that when you go to Jagannath Puri, these pandas, they keep chewing the pan and doing all type of seva. So if you see externally what they're doing, but Lord Jagannath is happy. So if it says in Shastra that from sky, if we see in that particular Sri Kshetra, whoever the devotees are there, they are like Vishnu Dutas, forearm from Vishnu Dutas. That seems like that. And if we see just few steps from temple, we find some people are selling the fish also. So externally, if you see, you may offend the Dhammasis. So it is like that. So we learn that Lord Jagannath is Bhavgra, he is very merciful, and every year Lord Jagannath come out of the temples and give darshan to all the devotees, all the fallen souls. And they says if whoever is take the darshan of Lord Jagannath sitting on chariot, he need not to come again to this material world. He get liberation. He is authorized to go to the back to Godhead. So, and when we go to Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath is so merciful that he's having a small temple. Within the temple at the door where you see this uh, Patita Pavan Jagannath. So everybody whoever go, they can take darshan of Lord Jagannath. So there is a wonderful learning from this story pastime with Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya, very great acharya. He make the things very systematic. He established huge temples in South India. Hmm. So this is wonderful pastime. Now we move to the next
Prabhuji,
story.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
Prabhuji,
yes.
Prabhuji, I have one doubt. Like I've seen in many temples only the Brahmanas who are offering puja to Lord. But in this story, it is mentioned like Ramanuja is very concerned about the low caste people, so they can offer puja. So, what's your opinion about this?
See,
Anyone can.
the Lord Jagannath, that's why he's a Patita Pavan. He's Bhavgra is. So he accept the everything which is out of love they offer the devotees there. So in Jagannath Puri, there are from King Indradyumna, from thousands of years, these offerings going on. So there is system. There is some people they make a chutney for Lord Jagannath. So they grow the crops, they bring it, they make chutney. Some people they have seva of putting the flag of Lord Jagannath. So they from their generation they keep only flag seva. Some devotees they make pot for cooking the prasadam. So they generation after generation they are doing the same seva. So now that is like the system is built up. Now if somebody comes and want to change overnight, then Lord will not be happy.
Oh,
So it is like that. There is a system. There is particular people they make the every year that Jagannath Rath. So those people only they cut the trees, they know which tree to use, and they make the cart. So like that, the system is established, and there are whoever doing seva, they are continuing generation after generation.
so the caste is not like caste is not like all like.
This is a political agendas has been introduced in connection with the spiritual things.
Hmm.
So the Lord is accepting things from all. Even you will see the pastime of Lord with Muslims, all
Hmm.
people. They say the Jagannath, Lord Jagannath offered prasad, same plate.
Hmm.
person can eat and dog can also eat. They get the same benefit, and it will not be contaminated. So
So
Lord is
for God,
merciful.
all people are equal.
All are equal. All are equal in eyes of Lord, and Lord is
Oh,
Bhagrai, Bhagrai.
okay, प्रभु जी. ठीक है, धन्यवाद प्रभु जी.
Thank you. Okay, so we will take the next story. Who is ready? Let me check who is there. Komal, you are ready with the story? Komal, you are able to hear me? Okay, next. Parmila, you are ready with the story?
जी दादा जी.
You switch on your camera and you read the story and tell what you have learned from that story. You can read from that page I have sent, the story page. You can see and you can read.
जी दादा जी, हिंदी में मैं रिपीट कर सकती हूँ स्टोरी को.
आप पढ़ो, देख के पढ़ो.
जी दादा जी. तलीचा महापात्र संवाद. पुरी में तमीचा महापात्र नाम का एक ब्राह्मण था. वह भगवान जगन्नाथ के पुजारियों में से एक था. दादा जी, आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
आवाज आ रही है, तुम पढ़ो.
और सभी शास्त्रों में बहुत विशेषज्ञ था. वह हमेशा साफ सुथरे रहता था और अपने उदास होने में स्थिर रहता था. वे विनम्र, शांत और सभी भक्तों का बहुत प्रिय थे. वह हमेशा गरीब लोगों को खाना खिलाते थे और कृष्ण कथा सुनने के शौकीन थे. वह पूरे दिन सुबह से रात तक भगवान जगन्नाथ, बलदेव और सुभद्रा के प्रति पुत्र सेवा में लगे हुए थे. यह दैवी संबंध उनके लिए सब कुछ थे. एक दिन राजा अपने दल के साथ पूरे आए. जब उन्होंने सिंह द्वार से मंदिर में प्रवेश किया तो कुछ पुजारी राजा के आगमन के बारे में तालीज महापात्र को सूचित करने के लिए दौड़े. जो देवता के दर्शन करना चाहते थे, तलीजा महापात्र ये सुनिश्चित करने के लिए देवता कक्ष में पहुंचे कि राजा को उचित दर्शन मिले. लेकिन उन्होंने देखा कि देवता के फूल की माला पहनी हुई थी. आमतौर पर जब राजा मंदिर में आते थे तो देवताओं की महापात्र माला मांगते थे. महापात्र ने सोचा ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी बदनामी है कि राजा जगन्नाथ प्रसाद नहीं मिलेंगे और बहुत चिंतित था. अतः मैं उन्होंने गले में एक फूल की माला डाल दी. जो मतलब उनके गले में माला नहीं थी तो वो चिंतित हो गए और जो उनके पास एक माला थी वो भगवान जगन्नाथ प्रभु जी के गले में डाल दी. राजा वेदी पर पहुंचे और देवता के दर्शन किए हमेशा की तरह. दर्शन के बाद राजा पुजारी से पूछा, क्या कृपया कुछ फूलों की माला प्रसाद ले सकता हूँ? पुजारी ने धो डाला और हाथ और भगवान से फूल प्रसाद लेकर राजा को सौंप दिया. राजा ने विनम्रता से और भक्ति के साथ प्रसाद प्राप्त किया और फिर अपने महल के लिए रवाना हो गए. फूलों की माला बहुत सुंदर थी. ये जू फूल से तैयार किया गया था. जू फूल से तैयार किया गया था. एक विशेष फूल जो एक मजबूत सुगंध शुद्ध सफेद होता है. राजा ने अपने सिंहासन बैठे हुए फूलों की माला को देखा और अचानक एक लंबे काले बाल पाया. उन्होंने सोचा ये बहुत अजीब है, ये माला में कैसे आया? मतलब उस सोचने में ये कहाँ से आया और कैसे आया। बहुत अजीब, ये माला में कैसे हो सकता है। जगन्नाथ के सिर पर कोई बाल नहीं है। इस ब्राह्मण ने अपने सिर से फूल की माला ले ली होगी और इसे भगवान जगन्नाथ पर डाल दिया होगा और फिर दिया होगा। मेरे लिए मुझे बता रहा था कि हे भगवान का प्रसाद था। राजा बहुत परेशान हुए। तुरंत वो उचित का आदेश दिया। जो महापात्र को राजा के सामने लाया गया तो उन्होंने देखा कि राजा क्रोध से कांप रहे हैं और सांप की तरह फुफकार रहा है। राजा ने कहा, प्रभु मुझे माला में एक बाल मिला है, मुझे बताओ प्रभु ने अपने सिर पर बाल कब बनाए। मुझे सच बताओ, नहीं तो तुम्हें मौत का सामना करोगे। महापौत्र बहुत डर गए और प्रार्थना की, भगवान कृपा मेरी रक्षा करे। मुझे पता है कि ये राजा बहुत सख्त है, कौन जानता है कि वह मुझे किस तरह की सजा देगा। बेहतर है कि मैं झूठ बोल दूं और खुद को उसकी सजा से बचा लूं। तो उन्होंने राजा से कहा, हाँ ये सच है। कुछ समय के लिए भगवान, मतलब झूठ बोल दिया उन्होंने उनके सामने। और तब राजा ने कहा, कल सुबह मंदिर जाऊंगा मैं, आप मुझे खुद व्यक्ति रूप से दिखा सकते हैं। भगवान ने बोले, जब वो वहां पहुंचे और हाथ भगवान के फूल प्रसाद लेकर सौंप दिए। विनोद साहब भक्ति साथ प्राप्त किया और फिर अपने महल के रवाने हो गए। की माला बहुत सुंदर थी। जो फूल तैयार किया गया था, एक फूल चुंबक के अगर ये नेट नेटवर्क नहीं है, सॉरी जी।
नेटवर्क अभी आ रहा, तो हाँ आवाज आ रही है, तो कंटिन्यू करो, रीडिंग करो।
जी।
पढ़ो, आगे पढ़ो स्टोरी को।
तो जी चाचा जी, तो राजा ना वहां पर पहुंच जाते हैं तो वो डर जाते हैं कि मैंने ये क्या कर दिया। झूठ बोल देते हैं। तो वो मतलब कि जब जाते हैं तो भगवान जगन्नाथ के सिर में एक बाल, मतलब बाल होते हैं, और पहले जब देखते हैं तो बाल नहीं होते। तो वो मतलब कि परीक्षा लेने के लिए भगवान के ऊपर, मतलब सिर से बाल खींचने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो अचानक भगवान प्रभु जी के वो मतलब कि खून से आने लगता है। तो वो डर जाते हैं कि ये क्या चमत्कार है। तो एकदम वो डर जाता है। तो ये चमत्कार हो गया था। प्रभु जी जो जगन्नाथ वो जो फिर वो मतलब प्रसन्न हो जाते हैं कि उनकी जो भक्ति है वो उनकी भक्ति की उनकी सच्ची भक्ति, और उनको देख के सच प्रभु जी वो खुश हो जाते हैं। और ये सब।
देखो,
चाचा जी, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही साहब।
आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ अब आ रही जी चाचा जी।
ठीक से पढ़ो, स्टोरी तो काफी लंबी है, अभी इसको पूरा पढ़ो ठीक से। फिर उसका 3 पॉइंट पे बताओ, इसमें क्या क्या लर्निंग, क्या क्या सीखा, क्या क्या मेन पॉइंट स्टोरी का, जैसे जो जिंदगी में लागू करना चाहिए। स्क्रीन में दिख रहा है, पार्ट शेयर कर रखा हूँ, आगे पढ़ो। I think she's having some network issue. So the gist of this story is that the Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna is, as we discussed in previous story, is very merciful. He is Dinanath, he is Patita Pavan. And similar pastime we can see several times we come across that for the devotees' sake, Lord take different forms. Sometimes Lord's uh, come in the form of a child and take the food. Sometimes he sit down and take the prasad. Sometimes when devotee become old and they cannot offer seva, so Lord sit down and he take the offering or services of the devotees. And such deities we can see some of the temples nearby Jagannath Puri itself. In connection with this story, we see the pastime of Lord Balaji also. So they say that when the construction of Tirupati temple was going on, that time the Acharya who was involved in digging and bringing stone and making the walls and the temples construction and the ponds, making ponds, garden for the Lord. So seeing that hard work of the devotee, Lord also come in the form of a small child and is assisting. But one day the devotee become angry that why is taking my seva, who is this child? That Acharya who was doing this seva, he start running behind the child and he thrown the axe and that strike the chin of Lord Balaji and he start bleeding. And then when running, that Acharya went behind the child and he found the child disappeared in the temple, and when they opened the door they found that the Lord is bleeding heavily. So that is the reason you will find in the picture of Lord Balaji they put sandalwood at the chin of Lord Balaji to stop that bleeding. So like this we see several pastimes in which merciful Lord take the offering of devotees. So here there was no hair on the deities of Lord Jagannath, if you see that deity. But for the pure devotee like Trilochana Mahapatra, Lord has made possible that he try to pull out the hair, it start bleeding. So Lord can do anything. It's for his devotees. There are several a number of pastimes we can see in the literature. So now we will move to the next story. Now we will move to next story. I think Komal is ready now. Komal, you are ready? Komal, can you share the story? Start reading and then share the teaching, learning of the story. If Kamal is not ready, then we will take Rekha Rani. Okay, Kamal is switched on his mic. Yes, Kamal, you are ready?
Yes, sir.
If you want, you can switch on your video and you start reading, and then you can share the learning of the story. Go ahead. Komal, go ahead, start reading the story.
May I audible, sir?
You are audible. You go ahead.
There was a Brahmana by the name of Ganpati Bhatt who lived in a small village called Kanihari in the state of Karnataka. He was a great devotee of Lord Shri Hari and was very merciful to others. He was free from greed, had no attachment to sense gratification, and was well versed in all scriptures. All of his senses, including the mind, were completely under his control. He only worshipped Lord Vishnu and had no interest in worshipping any demigods. He knew that Lord Jagannath is all in all, the controller of everything. Anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet will be freed everything. Anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet will be freed from material bondage. Without the mercy of that Param Brahm, no one can be delivered. Ganpati Bhatt was always thinking, if I can see that Param Brahm in his transcendental form with my own two eyes, then my life will be successful. One day, Ganpati Bhatt was reading Brahm Purana about how the Lord manifested in Nilgiri in his transcendental form. If one see him in his form, he will be freed from material bondage and will get liberation. He will not face Yamraj ever again. When Ganpati Bhatt read this, it touched his heart. Then he understood this life is useless. He thought, what is the use of his wife, children, and wealth? Param Brahm has manifested on this earth in Nilgiri. I am spending my time uselessly being unaware of this fact. Why should I be so foolish to stay here after knowing that the Lord has manifested in Nilgiri? As long as I have strength in my body, my wife, all the children and relatives uh, will be with me. No one will accompany with me when I leave this body. When I become old, my children and my wife will think I am great burden upon them. In this material world, no one is the friend of anyone. Ganpati Bhatt thought, better I go to Nilgiri and take darshan of Param Brahm so that I can get liberation. Thinking in this way, he left his house and started the journey to Puri. He was happy to get he was living on what he attained through begging on his way to Puri and was happy to get whatever was available. Sometimes he fasted because food was not available to him. He would pacify his hunger by eating some leaves and drinking water. Finally, Ganpati Bhatt reached Atharanala, a place just at the entrance of Puri. It is believed that once someone crosses this place to enter Puri Dham, they will not face any punishment from Yamraj. Ganpati Bhatt purified himself by taking darshan of that place and sat down to meditate upon Brahmana. Later, Ganpati Bhatt saw some people returning from Puri. They were looking very happy and holding pots of Jagannath Prasada in their hands. Ganpati Bhatt asked them, kindly tell me where you have all come from. Why are you all so happy? What have you achieved? The travelers replied, oh dear Brahmana, we are returning from Nilkandar Jagannath temple. There we spent 5 days taking darshan of Param Brahm. Now we are all going to our homes very happy and satisfied. It is very rare to have darshan of the Lord. After taking darshan of the Lord, what else is there to achieve? Hearing this from the travelers, Ganpati Bhatt was very surprised. He asked them, have you really seen Brahma? They replied, yes, we took his darshana. After this exchange, the travelers continued on their way. Ganpati Bhatt thought to himself that this cannot be true, that Brahma is there. They have not seen Brahma. If they had, why are they coming back? They should have all merged into Brahma. That is what I have heard from the Purana, that anyone who takes darshana of Brahma at Nilgiri immediately attains liberation. So how can these people be going back to their houses even after getting darshana of Brahma? He asked many people who were coming from Puri. They were all coming back after taking darshana of Lord. Ganpati Bhatt became very confused. He opened the Purana and checked it again and again. He saw that Purana clearly mentioned that Brahma reside in Puri. If one sees him, he will get liberation immediately. Ganpati Bhatt was very confused and thought, what should I do now? Now I do know know what to do. I don't know what is right and what is wrong. Better I commit suicide and give up this body. But then again, it is not good to commit suicide. Lord Jagannath understood the mind of Ganpati, but he came to meet with Ganpati, but in the form of an old Brahmana. He asked, but where have you come from? Where are you planning to go? Why are you sitting here and looking so sad? But replied, my dear Brahmana, please listen. I read in the Purana that Brahma is in Nilgiri. Just by getting darshan of him, one attains immediate liberation. But now I found there is no Brahma in Puri. The Lord in the form of old Brahmana asked Ganpati, but how did you decide that there is no Brahma in Puri? But replied, as far as I know, if someone sees Brahma, then he is supposed to merge into his body and thus get liberation. But now I have seen many people coming back from Puri even after seeing the form of the Lord. From this, I conclude that there is no Brahma there. If there was there after taking darshan of Brahma, all of these people would have attained liberation. Hearing this, all of these people would have attained liberation. Hearing this, he smiled and replied, Lord Hari is known as Kalptru. That means he fulfills everyone's desires. These people had come with a desire to go back to their houses, so the Lord fulfilled their desire. Otherwise, how can he be uh, Vanka Kalptru, a fulfilling tree? If someone comes here thinking to be happy here, to get liberation or to go back to his abode to serve him, they will get the result according to their desire. Please do not think that there is no Brahma there. After saying this, the Lord is in form of the Brahmana left to Ganpati, but he prepared himself to enter Puri Dham. He reached the joint gate of Jagannath temple and took darshan of Patit Pavana. Coincidentally, that the day was Dev Snana Purnima. Lord Jagannath, Baldeva, Subhadra, and Sudarshana Chakra were brought to Snan Mandip, the bathing platform, for taking bath Abhishek. Many pujaris were pouring water on the deities of the lords. Thousands of devotees were calling Jai Jai, all glories, all glories. Many demigods were there, disguised in human form. Ganpati Bhatt was a believer of the Ganesh form of the Lord. Ganpati Bhatt took darshan of the Lord Daru Brahma, but he didn't see the elephant face of the Lord. He had strong faith. The Brahma had a face like an elephant, but here he saw some different face. He thought the deities could not be Brahma since they did not have elephant faces. Dissatisfied, he left the place without even offering obeisances. He was very disappointed. He was convinced that Brahma had a face like an elephant. Understanding his form conviction, Lord Jagannath immediately appeared to Mudirat, the representative of the king of Puri. The Lord told him, my devotee came from a great distance to see me, but now he is going back. Being very much disappointed uh, at not seeing the elephant face of mine, you go immediately and call him back. Tell him he should come back and have darshan of my form with an elephant face. Mudirtha immediately got up and ran to bring Ganpati Bhatt back to Puri. He explained to Ganpati Bhatt, Lord Daru Brahma is able to give Chaturbhuja 4 kinds of benediction. Please take darshan of Lord. All your desires will be fulfilled. The Lord is here in form of Daru Brahma in Nilgiri to fulfill everyone's desire. Why are you so foolish going back without taking darshan of the Lord? But replied with great anger, where is Brahma? Why are you cheating me? I didn't say any elephant face. How can there be Brahma without an elephant face? If I don't see a trunk on the face, I don't accept this as a deity of Brahma. I don't care of what you say. Why are you trying to bring me back? Mudirtha replied, you must give up your to bring me back. Mudirtha replied, you must give up your wrong impression. Just come back and look very attentively. You will see the elephant face of Lord. There is no doubt about this. After hearing this, Ganpati Bhatt returned to the temple. He looked upon the Lord, and there he saw the face of an elephant. There was a very big trunk and one beautiful tusk on his face. Manifesting his wonderful Vishwaroop, the Lord called his devotee, but replied his respectful obeisances and prayers, O my Lord Gajanana, Daru Brahma Ganpati, Lord of everyone. Now I am satisfied to have your darsana. All my doubts are dispelled. Now I have one request to you. From today onwards, whenever you come to see Snan Mandip on this day, please manifest this form and give your darshan to everyone. After saying this, Ganpati Bhatt fell on the ground, meditating upon Daru Brahma. He immediately merged into the body of Lord. Everybody could see his soul entered into the body of the Lord King Lightning. And the crowd was shouted, all glories, all glories. Even today, Shri Jagannath, Shri Baldeva, and Shrimati Subhadra are dressed in Hathi Vesa after taking their bath on Snan Purnima day. Just see the greatness of Lord Jagannath. This Lord is worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva just to satisfy his devotees. He accepts an elephant face. That is why he is known as Bhavagrahi, one who accepts the mood of his devotee.
Now, Komal, now you can highlight the major learning points. Take home message.
From this story, we are learned that if our devotions, our prayers, and our wishes are true, then God fulfill our all the desires and accept all the wishes of His devotee.
So Lord is merciful and He is doing to fulfill the desire of His pure devotees. We see He is taking different forms from Jagannath form to form of a elephant, and after this pastime every year. Actually, every year Jagannath Rath Yatra happens, and before Rath Yatra, they take Lord out and they have the majestic bathing of Lord Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra. And after that pastime of to Brahman Bhatt, that particular dress in which Lord looks like
You are not audible, sir.
am I not, I'm not audible? Am I not audible?
Now you are audible.
Okay, so yeah, I was telling that Lord Jagannath is very merciful, and just to fulfill his pure devotees, is taking is manifesting Lord Jagannath having a big elephant-like trunk. I'm trying to get that photograph darshan. Meanwhile, next devotee may kindly be ready. So I'm sharing one darshan in this. You see how the Lord Jagannath is decorated as having, and Balaramji also having long trunk like elephant. And in another picture, you can see at the door, Lord Jagannath's one used deity is there. So anybody can take darshan of Lord Jagannath. So that is Patita Pavan Jagannath. So now next we will move to the next story. Kanika, if you can read, you share a story and please read. Or if Rekha Rani is ready, you can read.
I am ready.
Okay, so then you switch on your video, you share the story and read. And focus on 3 points already I have said. What is the learning point? What is the most striking point? And what is the take home message?
My story title is Ramanujacharya in Puri. Am I audible?
Ramanujacharya story already first Ajali already read.
You shared this only to me.
The Ramanujacharya already Neha has read it.
I am having this one only. So it's Gita, Govinda, and Jagannath. So once upon a time, the Gita Govinda song was very famous among the people of Odisha. And in a small village near Puri, there lived a girl named Padma. She was the daughter of gardener and was very expert in singing Gita Govinda song. One day, while Padma was plucking eggplant from the garden, she was chanting Gita Govinda song very melodiously. When the Lord Jagannath heard this song of Gita Govinda, he became so attracted that he could not keep himself in the temple. At once he left the altar and went to the garden where Padma was singing. So Lord Jagannath followed behind the girl, listening to her singing. He was so enchanted with this song of Gita Govinda that he forgot himself. While he was walking behind the girl, his cloth was torn by the thorns of an eggplant tree. The top three piece of his cloth fell on the ground, but the Lord was so much engrossed in hearing Gita Govinda that he did not notice. After some time, Padma filled her basket with the eggplants and left the garden. So Lord Jagannath, completely satisfied by hearing the Padma singing, returned to the temple. The next morning, the pujaris came to perform their morning service. When they opened the temple gate, they were very surprised to see that Lord Jagannath's cloth was torn and his top piece of the cloth was missing. So piece of the cloth was scattered here and there. It was as if the Lord has not been dressed the previous evening. After seeing this, the pujaris became very worried and immediately informed the king. No one could understand how this had happened. Everyone considered it very inauspicious. The king started to fast and fell in the front of Lord, praying to him to excuse any mistake in their service. Lord Jagannath appeared to the king in his dream and told him, O king, do not be worried. I am very fond of hearing the Gita Govinda song written by great devotee Jayadeva. Last night there was a village girl who was chanting Gita Govinda very nicely. I became attracted by her song and left temple to listen her. When I followed her in the eggplant garden, my clothes were torn by the thorns of the eggplant tree. Unknowingly, I have left my top piece of the cloth there in the eggplant garden. You do not have to be worried at all. You have no fault in any of this. But I request you to please bring that girl every day and let her sing Gita Govinda in front of me in the temple before I go to the bed. Immediately the king sent to the people to find that girl. When they located the house, they found Lord Jagannath top piece of the cloth lying in the garden. When the king heard this, he was very surprised. This confirmed that Lord has gone last night to her garden. The king wanted to fulfill the desire of Lord to hear the Gita Govinda every day from Padma. He personally went to Padma house and told her of his dream and of the Lord desire to hear her song. He told her that if she had no objection that she could come and reside in Puri. All facilities of her and her family members to stay in Puri would be arranged. Then she could sing Gita Govinda every day in front of the Lord Jagannath. Hearing this, the girl was very happy. How fortunate she was that the Lord wanted to hear her personally sing Gita Govinda, and so Padma, along with her family members, agreed to go to the Puri to serve Lord Jagannath. They all came to the Puri and met to the king. He gave them all facilities to stay in Puri and gave Padma the special service of chanting Gita Govinda in front of Lord Jagannath. From that time, the system of chanting Gita Govinda before the Lord takes rest was introduced in the Jagannath temple. The king gave a lot of respect to the song Gita Govinda written by Jayadeva. He fixed the time for singing this song and the method for singing was determined. A special order was given by the king for this service and was engraved in stone of it as a permanent order. From that day onwards, Padma, the most fortunate girl, started singing Gita Govinda every day in front of the Lord during the midnight aarti before Jagannath take rest. Padma became known as a Deva Dasi or maid servant of the Lord. So,
Kindly share the highlighting points and learning points.
the learning point is that God was pleased from the Padma, and she got the uh, prayers of Lord and sing the song in front of the Lord. If we will serve nicely, we can also get this offer in future.
So this Jadev is a great devotee of Lord, and we hear this book, Geet Govind, book by Jadev. So in Geet Govind, there are several songs, several poetries written by Jadev. Then Jadev is pure devotee of Lord Jagannath. So those wonderful songs when the girls were singing and she's collecting her fruits and doing her homework, cooking, collecting fruits, vegetables, and she was naturally singing. And by because that description is Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna is there in those songs. So that is why Lord got attracted and he went there. He moved from temple to that place where this girl was collecting these vegetables, and he starts listening, hearing those songs, and this pastime took place. So we can see that if somebody is having pure devotion, that attract the Lord most. So with this, we conclude today's class here only. and we will be continuing with some more stories in next class onward. Thank you very much, all the devotees, for joining and finding time and taking participation. Thank you very much. We will conclude today's class here itself. Hare Krishna.